I brought beautiful friends with me today. We have all of the Brother Brand ambassadors, and we're having so much fun. Studio is officially, what's the word? Christened and gorgeous. We're gonna smash a bottle of champagne somewhere, but we thought we didn't want to mess up the machine. So pop in, say hi. If you're here, you know the program. This is Behind the Scenes Live. You come from all over the world. We're here in Michigan. These girls are from all over the United States. So say where you're from, say hi to your friends. You know how awesome this is. So we just have a short show for you today, but I want to introduce you to everyone. Hey, Kay, how are you? Howdy to the Wolf Pack. Yes, howdy to the Wolf Pack. So I have an exciting thing for the Wolf Pack. You guys are all so great. So next week, someone special in our group actually digitized and designed something for our shirts. And I can give you a hint. There's a sewing machine on it, and there's a wolf pack on it. Yes. So give me hands up. I'm using a new mic because I want you to be able to hear everyone. Can you hear us, see us? Give us a little heart. Give us a little love. These ladies, we have been hanging out for how long? 2 days. 2 days. So let me just check. Everyone said, what a great group. Of course. This is the best of best. Hey, Sandy, how is Florida weather today? Susan, great to see you. Susan gets an A plus. Susan popped in here Saturday with her husband, and guess what? You want to see your shelves, Susan? Yeah, you can share them with your husband. Hold on a sec. Woo! Yeah, he put them. No, they came here. He put them together right there on the floor. And guess what? We cleaned up, and Susan filled all the Linda patterns back there. Well, actually, we already shipped the whole load out. This is a new batch. I know, Susan, you're awesome. All right, who else do we got everybody rolling in. Reen's here, Melody's here. So what I want to do, you guys, now that I know that you can hear me, you can see me. Welcome, welcome. All my fishing friends that pop in and out. Happy fishing today. I'll be doing that this weekend. So, all right, is everybody in there? Wrong way. There we go. All right, don't get seasick, guys. All right, so I'm going to pass the mic around. I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves, say where they're from, and just a little bit about them, what their blog is, things like that, in case you've never met these wonderful brother brand ambassadors. So thank you, brother, for bringing us together. This has been a great week. You put all these creative minds together. Whoa, wait till you see what we come out with. All right, so let's get started. Laura, let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Laura. I run the blog Trash to Couture. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a mom of 3 boys. I typically sew, I would say, more fashion content, but I offer a ton of tutorials for you guys. So you can head to my blog. If you have questions, let me know. But yeah, check it out. And we're just super happy to be here with Angela in the studio and happy to join y'all today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily, and I run the site Life So Savory. Many of you have seen me on Facebook Lives before. My normal show is Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, so I know that several of you will watch Angela on Wednesday and then hop over and check me out. We're a little tilted here. Um, but, I love to sew for myself, and usually my kids are also taking part in what I'm sewing, and I offer a lot of free patterns. And it's been so inspiring. It's just really great to be here with everybody this week and collaborate and get to know people better and meet up. So it's a wonderful opportunity.
Hey everybody, Joanne Banco from letsgosew.com, and you'll find me on the Brother blog and also on It's So Easy TV, and I'm just having a really good time here with all of my other girlfriends. So we're we're just having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. So thanks, Angela. We're having a blast looking at your studio and feeling all the fabric. The fabricolics in us are coming out strong. And thanks for joining us and keep in touch.
I'm Rebecca Kemp Brent. My website's rkbrent.com, and I'm on It's So Easy TV sometimes. I live in Tennessee and have had a great time this week. Just it's always fun to get with old and new friends, hear other people's ideas. What we do is a kind of a solitary thing because we are individual companies of one person for the most part. So this kind of event, it's really great to find out what other people are doing with the equipment, or we've maybe got a sneak peek or two. So there's great stuff coming, as well as what we've already got to work on. And it's been a blast. Angela's been the best hostess, and she has a fabulous husband we'd all like to clone and take home with us. So.
I can't forget when. So we all go
There we
sound
go.
when we're
I
trying
think
to do it.
now we're on.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Nobody can hear us.
Okay,
All right.
we're back. We're back. We're back.
Where did they miss us is the question.
I don't
When did it start
know.
going mute?
So, sorry guys. You gotta love technical issues on Facebook, right? Now you know for sure that we are live. All right. Can I see? Yeah, we can hear now. I can hear myself over there. All right, Cindy, you're up.
I'm up. All right. I'm Cindy Hogan, Cynthia's Embroidery. I have enjoyed my week here. It's been a blast. I always enjoy getting with Angela and Joanne and Rebecca, but now we've got some new friends. Yeah. Our friend Janice here is having a birthday this weekend, aren't you? Yeah. So it's been a blast. We have learned a lot from each other and can't wait to do more collaboration.
All right, you're next. Just talk super loud because you're actually talking into the mic up there. And both. You're using both.
Oh, well, here.
I'm getting mic'd. Hold on.
Hello. Move around. All righty.
Wait, we're dancing. We won't go there. We've got accessories in the building for that.
Hi, I'm Anna Aldman. I'm from Anna's Awesome Applique Designs. I do applique designs for embroidery machines that include not only applique, but trapunto stitches, quilting, and piecing in the hoop. So come see my website at Anna's Awesome Applique Designs. And it's been a great week, and what's really nice, it's a great way to enjoy my birthday yesterday. I had a wonderful time. Thank you.
Well, hi, I'm Janice Ferguson, and beyond anything that's happened here today, I would encourage all of you to find a group of friends to sew with, as we have. This has been so meaningful and so inspirational. But anyway, I'm Janice Ferguson. I have a blog that's Janice Ferguson Sews. It's modern projects for old-fashioned nanas, which is, I love it. And so, as I said, just try to find some sewing friends that are close by that you can get together with regularly. And it's such an instant bond with all these people when you share so much in common. And as I said, Angela and Wynn have just been fabulous. We have been.
Wynn has a few nicknames now, you guys, besides fishing.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Uber Wynn. We have lunch. Snacks. He's trying to get us all. I don't know what he's doing.
I like
here.
your CEO.
Oh yeah, CEO. Carry everything out. VP of shipping because he's shipping all the Linda patterns. Although he doesn't have my signature down, so I have to do that. What else? Am I missing anything?
Everything.
Everything.
Smiling and keeping us happy.
Yes, and good studio decoration. I mean, he's a good-looking fella.
And now he's an ornament.
That's what I was.
Eye candy. Fabio. That's the new nickname. All right, you guys. So while you're on here, I'm sorry for the little technical delays. So just if you have any questions for the ladies, we can do a quick Q&A. At the end of the show, I'm giving away 2 things. Remember, you were all in the giveaway for It's So Easy Season 17, which many of us are on, and Brother sponsors. 1 lucky winner is going to get that. And of course, I'm going to throw in my new Linda pattern that we were all going to wear, but I didn't have time to celebrate with it. So
we should have
I'm sending the pattern home with them so they can sew it.
Yeah.
So sound good?
We move it out.
All right. So let's see. Do we have everybody in here? Kind of. Here we go. Can you see everyone? All right. So let's see what comments you got going on. I saw Reen in here. We have Melody. Trophy husband. All right, Lisa. That's so funny.
Like that one.
Anne is in here. What is Avery's website? What's your website, Anna?
Anna's Awesome Applique Designs.
Anna's Awesome Applique Designs, right?
I won't move.
And they are fabulous.
And they are fabulous.
We're trying to get everyone in. It's just sorry, guys.
Just squeeze as best as you guys can because I can't There we go. Are we good?
There you go.
I'm missing Emily over here.
Yeah, that's
So, by the way, I just saw a comment down here. It says that we need to teach like a class here for. How many rooms do I have? We could all squeeze in a room.
Absolutely. Lots of space.
Lots of space.
Yeah.
I can see some of your comments. All right. Tony, what do you got to say? Hi, great to see you. So a couple things for you guys. We have learned that many of us, now this is not the entire group, not everybody could come, but this is everyone who could show up in Michigan. And we've got the brother team over there behind the scenes. We told them they should join us over here. But
We got men here too. We got guys.
Yeah, so we've been doing scan and cut. We have been doing sewing. We have been just exploring different things. It's so fun to get different people together because everyone has a different talent, which is awesome. So many of these have been on It's So Easy, but if they haven't, you should look up their websites. What I'll do after the show is leave a link to all of their websites for you so you can find them. And you can always go to Brothers Blog, which is Stitching Social, but it's blog.brothersews.com. And that's where you can find all these lovely ladies and their talent. Let's see, I see Celeste on here. Good morning, Celeste. No one has more than one sewing machine in there.
Oh no. Not that we own up to.
So we were asking this question the other day. Thank you, Jane, for saying beautiful group of ladies. So quick question. How many sewing machines do you have? Because we asked this a little while ago and we did not, I couldn't pull up the stats. Nobody believed me that I think it was almost 70% had more than 3 sewing machines.
Wow.
I think the answer is not
moving
enough.
back by
Not enough? All right, am I blocking somebody?
What about right there? Yeah.
The girls are getting,
Sorry, guys. We're trying to get Emily in here.
We just wanted to hug.
we can't lose Emily.
I didn't want to be right in front of her.
Okay, let's see. We got a few comments on here.
I moved this way. I don't know which way I'm going.
Marty wants to know, I think the girls forgot they were live, so don't worry. Marty wants to know if we could leave a list of everyone. We will do that, and maybe we'll do a blog post on Brothers so you could just connect with everyone. And everybody's on Facebook, Instagram. There's so many things. Arnell says, look like you're having a great time. We are. We've had good dinners. The weather's been good. You can walk downtown from here. It's so amazing. I'm glad they didn't come in January, but
We are too.
Tony says she has never used a serger. Which self-threading serger?
I don't think they have a self-threading serger.
Yeah, brother does. Well, yes, they do.
The
The
needle
Project Runway threads the needle itself.
But I mean,
It's not
it doesn't go through each thread and each loop.
No,
It
it's
just
very
uses the
easy.
needle.
By the
Very
way,
easy.
if you go to Brother's YouTube page,
Mhm.
I know I myself have a few videos to show
Yeah.
you how to thread. Actually, is that the one you watched?
I watch her videos and I've been serging since I was in high school, but I still go to her videos when I'm rethreading my serger all the time. They're very helpful. And for cover stitch too.
Karina says the brother sisters. And,
Yes.
Karina is the one that has designed a new Wolfpack logo, which we will be sharing next week, which will be
wow.
very fun.
Awesome.
It's very cool. Kay says, LOL, working. Kay, it's nice to see you, by the way, because usually in the summer you're with your kids, busy at the park. So maybe you're having your kids watch us and learn how to sew. Very cool. So I see Patty in here. This thing is, oh, look at all these. Okay, everybody's saying how many machines they have. I see 3, 8, 7. I told you guys over there, everybody has more than 2. Somebody, I think, had 22 because they'd never gotten rid of any of their machines.
Wow.
Oh, that's
And then they would invite people over to sew.
you could have a sewing school.
Yeah, that's a good friend to have, right? Hey, Jude, I see you. Great to see you over there. She's in the UK. Dawn's on here. Dawn has a great show on YouTube on Tuesday nights, too.
Nice.
Great to see her. So everybody's saying 2 machines, 1 cover stitch, 1 serger. You know, each machine has a different purpose. You got the embroidery. I always found the problem when I had the embroidery and sewing. I didn't do all the embroidery, and then I'd have to get another machine for sewing because I never wanted to stop embroidering. So it looks like that's the case here. I see sergers. So let's just ask the group real quick. What's your favorite machine that you sew on?
Serger.
Serger?
Yeah.
Do you know which one you use from Brother?
I have this Simplicity 5437, I think. is the
Nice.
number.
It comes with extra feet, too.
Yes, yes.
Extra feet are awesome.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even, well, I have to admit, 15 years I think I had my serger before I knew what the blind hem foot was
Yeah.
used for. Do you know you can hem a pair of
Yes.
pants in the serger in
Yeah.
1 step?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just be a little
Love it.
careful.
Yeah.
That's all.
And
What's your favorite machine?
I currently like the SE 1900, and then I can use it for both sewing and embroidery as well.
Nice.
Yep.
Who we got back there? Joanne?
Yeah. Well, the Luminaire is my new best friend forever. Gotta say.
Yeah, that's
We
a
are
hard one.
bonding. We are loving each other.
All right, Rebecca, are you back there? My head in front of you.
Go the other way. There. Perfect. The Dream Machine and the Scan and Cut.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I love the
That's a good
scan
one,
and
yeah,
cut.
because that is a sewing tool too, and I'm having a lot of fun playing with that at the moment.
Nice. All right, who's next? See Cindy? I'm trying to keep my head down so you guys can see everyone without giving you.
Machine would be the Luminaire or my 10 needle. The 1050 X is pretty cool.
Big boy.
Oh, Jude.
Big brother.
The Scan and Cut would be another, but that's not a technically sewing. Like this, like asking like which child is your favorite.
I know.
I mean, software is
What's
my first love.
And Jude, huge apology. You're in Holland. I don't know why I said the UK. Right after I said that, I should have corrected myself. I know better. Okay. Anna, what's your favorite?
Well, of course, the Luminaire, because also it has 10 of my hexagon designs loaded on it. So,
Wow.
yeah, I really like that one. And I also love using the Scan and Cut, and I create applique shapes that are cut on the Scan and Cut for my designs.
Wow.
Awesome.
And I love my dream machine. I had a dream one night. There was a fire in the neighborhood, and in my dream there was a fire, and I'm pulling this thing out of the house.
Wait a minute. So you have a fire in your house and you only take the dream machine out?
Well, in my dream.
Oh, that's good.
It was very heavy. Very heavy.
She is precious. I have never met Janice before. I've heard about her. She's a legend.
Legend.
In fact, I met you from June via, there you go. I got you all on there.
Yeah.
She is, you make everybody laugh.
Yes.
She is, everybody would want her as a sister,
Yes.
a mom. Are you old enough to be a grandma yet?
Oh yes.
A grandma? She's adopting all of us. We've
She's all our
decided.
grandma.
Yeah. So, and her projects are awesome. If you ever go, when you go to the Brother blog, you like,
She's the Disney
she's
diva.
the Disney
Yeah.
diva.
I did the Disney stuff.
I had to
mostly.
clean that up.
Yes. And I
She has
did
like
the
1,000 comments on all of her blog posts.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous on that.
I know. What you say?
Comment more.
Yeah.
and like and comment more, maybe, on the Brother blog.
Amy says after watching the show, she's lusting after the embroidery machine.
Oh,
Oh,
get
yeah.
one, get one.
Absolutely.
I think in the Bill of Rights, it should have all these things. And then
In
at
the
the
Bill
very
of
bottom, you should have a dream machine.
So in Bill of Rights.
Yes.
It's like the freedom of speech, the
Yes.
freedom
Right.
of choosing
Yes.
to sewing
Yes,
machine.
I think it should be.
Absolutely.
If I were a politician, I would make that.
Oh, wait, no politics on this show. But yes, that you'd be a good politician if everyone had to have a dream machine. That would be fantastic. I can see the emojis going up. Everybody's cracking up.
What amendment can we make that one? Can we
I'll
write
march
that
in
in
that
the law?
parade.
Oh gosh. So the list of machines coming in here is fantastic. So I'm gonna go a couple more things before I'm gonna let these ladies go because I can't have this group here and only be on for a few minutes. So now we're gonna go this way and we're gonna ask everyone what their worst sewing faux pas is. The meaning your worst screw up that you can share or that you could share or maybe that you'd be willing to share. Let me start with you.
Oh, there's so many.
Can we just narrow it down to one?
Yes,
No.
let's see here.
The show's only an hour, so
Oh, all right. My latest project, which was the Winnie the Pooh inspired quilt, I have it all ready to go to pack up, and I look at the bag and I've cut a hole in it.
No.
you cut a hole in it?
Oh yeah, uh-huh. Sure.
What'd you do?
Well, freight check.
No.
It's a wonderful tool.
Freight check. Yes.
Just a little hole. It was just a little hole.
Freight check, by the way, is not a brand sponsored by Brother, just for the FYI.
Yeah,
Right?
It was
Seam sealant.
seam
Seam sealant. Yeah. I think you guys got it.
A fabric glue bonding agent.
Yeah, the bonding
Oh
agent.
gosh. All right, Anna, what's your worst mistake?
I'm trying to think. Well, I know recently I turned my back on my machine, which was, oh, you can't do that. And the batting and the fabric got caught in the foot, and I
Oh.
actually bent the foot.
Oh, that's bad.
It was
Freight
so
check
sad.
is not going to be helping
No,
that. I mean,
no.
seam steel, it's not going to be helping that.
Bonding
agent.
That would need bonding agent for sure.
I had to redo that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did that, by the way, not to go next, but I was embroidering some lace, and I always tell you guys to keep the tool down or use like a tape or something, because I've got this whole thing of tool making lace. And I walked away, and the tool wrapped around and kept embroidering.
Oh, no.
And when, what did you call him, trophy husband, comes over and he goes, "That's a very odd design. How are you going to get your arm in there?"
That's a nice way of saying it.
So now I can make one of your scrunchies. That would be fantastic. All right, Cindy, your turn.
Oh, let's see.
Mhm.
That was probably the time that I sewed a hat together. I didn't know I could do that on a 10 needle. I had it on a hat hoop. It's probably my second hat ever. And I could hear one of the brother educators, Paulette Bell, telling me, you should never need a needle bigger than a 7511 on that 10 needle machine. And I'm like, well, I'll be darned, I need one that's bigger. So I put in a 9014, and we're just a chugging away.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's still a thumping. I get the whole hat done, the entire thing. And the back was sewed to the front. It was sewed through denim,
Wow.
the buckram, the two pieces of Velcro, and both of the straps.
That baby
So
was
I was
so
like,
anything.
That is a good quality machine.
It
though.
was, I'm telling you,
Strong.
that thing's got
That
some
is a
strong
That is
brother.
good.
Oh my gosh.
Is that a strong and tough brand?
That is definitely strong and tough.
Right.
But it is like strong and tough.
Right.
I never knew I could do that with a hat with that. The
No.
cap is good. I mean,
That's amazing.
so, but evidently I caught it right up underneath there.
Oh,
It was
see, you guys, we make terrible
We do
mistakes.
all
All
the time.
right, Rebecca, are you back there?
I'm back here, and I was going to start by saying I don't make mistakes.
Lucky you.
No, really.
They're
a story
educational opportunities.
There's a
I can't
story
do that.
I told my classes. I entered a quilted jacket in a contest once, and on the inside, the jacket is a rectangle that you slice and dice and put back together. And so my batting wasn't quite wide enough. It was 11 o'clock at night, and I was making the wavy line to put two pieces of batting together, and unfortunately had the backing fabric on my cutting mat too. So I made a lovely little S-shaped slit inside, like between the shoulder blades, inside on the jacket. And it's like, okay, it's all one big piece of fabric. I can't just put a new patch in there. What am I going to do? So I decided I could make a flower stem out of the little wave, and then I appliqued a little flower at the top of it out of the fabrics on the outside of the jacket. So I entered it in the contest, won a ribbon, and when I picked it up and got the judge's sheet back, the judge had called out the flower on the inside of the jacket as her favorite thing. So yeah, just because
So
you
it was
screw
good.
up royally doesn't mean you screwed up
You
royally.
find a way to fix
A
it.
big
Yeah.
mistake can often, they can almost always be fixed.
All right, Joanne, what's your biggie?
Well, for one thing, there's no such thing as a mistake. It's just a design opportunity, right?
Yeah.
It's a design opportunity. And I have many of those, like almost every day. But my most memorable glitch goes way back to when I was in fashion school and I was making my final project, which from Northeast Ohio. My school was right in downtown Cleveland. And so I dressed very warmly, and I had made a coat that had 4 layers. It had lining, inner lining, underlining, and wool. And, I'm just finishing the end. What's one of the last things you do? Buttonholes, right? I was making bound buttonholes, and I cut one too far.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Well,
did
here's
you-
what I did, though.
bought bigger buttons?
I went, there was a wool reweaver in downtown Cleveland. I
Are
had to
you
go up
serious?
40 floors and hand over my coat,
Oh my
and they
God.
rewove that wool together.
Wow.
And I had that coat for like decades.
wow.
Well, if I walked 40 floors, I'd have that coat for decades too. You
can still remember.
Probably be buried in it.
Going up there and getting that done, and you could not tell what they did. I don't think
Always
weavers
away.
are around anymore, but
Yeah.
So that was that was a painful glitch because that was my last thing I was doing. I was graduating. So,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no pressure.
I'm watching everybody on here. I'm watching all the comments. They're like, Ooh, wow. Carrie's like, there's Carrie's. That's a
There's a
hilarious one.
solution to every stitch glitch.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Step 4, Cindy.
When you
Except for Cindy.
it is
Start a
sewn
new
together.
style, you know. like-
Except
yeah,
for
but I
Cindy.
actually did wrap it and give it to my dad just as a joke. I said, and you can try to wear this one.
Yeah.
A little Velcro on it.
Making sure I got everybody in here.
For me,
Stuck
I
over
think there's nothing worse than this is one of them, but I'll get into another one. But there's nothing worse than when you iron after, you're pressing your great finished project, and then you burn.
Oh,
in it. I embroidered this like collar. So I not only sewed the blouse, and then I had to embroider it. So it took hours. And then I go to embroider it, and of course, iron it. And of course, my kids are distracting me. And I just, put it on, and then I lift it up, and I smell it, and it burnt a hole right over in the middle. And I was like,
not
just-
good.
I mean, I kept it, but I kept it for, hey, learn your lesson. Don't do
Wait,
that.
was it a full triangle or did you get
It
the
literally
whole?
just burnt up into, it was like a hole. It like burnt a hole straight through it, right in the front and the collar where I did it. Like,
It ate your collar.
I have a photo.
Wait,
so I'll actually
your
share
hat and her project might have been a good combo.
So mine
There
wasn't
you go.
mine, but I do have a so I don't really have a sewing machine one because the Brothers sewing machines are excellent. There's no problem. But
wait, you're not supposed to say but.
Error happened.
but I have it. One time I was seam ripping through a project that I, accidentally sewed. Or, we all do that. It's like, what was I thinking right there? And it was a hard seam, and it was like thick thread, and I was trying to get through it, and I split through it, and I was like, weird. And I looked down, and I had seam ripped through my thumb. About an inch of my skin. I actually have a scar, but you probably can't see it because I'm getting old and it's getting like wrinkled there. But
Yeah, 35. So
but like I seam ripped through my finger. I had to go to the ER and get a tetanus shot.
Okay, so we were just about to tell you a few more mistakes before it went crazy, right? Hi, Mary, Judy.
Where were we at when we lost it?
I think Emily. We lost him at Emily. All right, so I'm going to test this other mic. You guys, let me know. Give me the emoji. Hey, Callie, great to see you. By the way, that flood in your area was scary. That photo you had. Okay, Emily, test this mic.
Testing. Is that okay? So I was just going to say that, first of all, I've done this multiple times, and that's where you sew something wrong and then rip it out and then sew it wrong again. And that's usually where I just have to walk away because it's going to end badly one way or another if I keep going. But several years ago, when I first was doing sewing on Facebook Live, I had pre-cut out some shorts for one of my sons, and I realized after sewing the legs together that there was no way they were going to go together to make shorts because I had 2 left legs. So there was really no saving that project. It was we're done for the day. So, so that was what came to my mind when we were talking.
Yeah.
Who else has done that? I've done that before. So. Yeah. You guys done that?
What? The 2 left legs?
No, I actually sewed my sleeves on the wrong way for a tailored suit. And it was 5 minutes before Wynn was picking me up on one of our first dates, and I just made the suit that day, and it was such a cute suit. It was lined and everything else. I think back then I used like a 2.0 stitch, so I sure as heck wasn't ripping that out. So I put on the suit, and I realized if I put my arms just like this, my posture, I could handle it. So it's a good posture test.
What do you typically sew on, like your stitch length?
Stitch length. What stitch? My favorite stitch length. My go-to is usually a 3.0.
Okay, me too. And
Yeah,
you can
but it
seam rip
depends
if
on
necessary.
It's very much easier to seam rip. Is that even English? Do you guys have a preference on? It depends on the fabric. Yeah.
The fabric, the shorter the stitch. The thicker the fabric, the longer the stitch.
What was your
good.
I've got a tip.
What's the tip? We need tips.
Here, take the mic. Rebecca's got a tip. I'm putting my glasses on to make sure we don't have any weird. Oh wait, Amy says she sewed pant legs wrong twice and ended up with a too narrow skirt. Okay, Rebecca, what's your tip?
Okay, so my tip is that you use different
stitch lengths depending on the thickness that you're sewing through. So for example, if you've got a really thick fabric or a quilt sandwich, depending on your machine, and honestly I don't use this as much, I'm not just saying this because I'm Brother ambassador, but Brother machines feed really well. But if you've got a machine that feeds less well, with a thicker fabric, you may need to lengthen your stitch a little bit, because the way it feeds, it'll actually crowd those stitches together. You know, just because you're telling the machine that I want 2.5 stitches, or I want a 2.5 millimeter stitch, that doesn't mean that's what you're going to get at the end when you measure it. So if you notice you're getting a really, really short stitch, go ahead and lengthen it, even if you have it set at the right length to begin with.
It needs room to bite. It's gotta run before it bites. Those feed dogs.
Hey, Melody wants you to repeat your comment, Joanne. Oh, and by the way, Deborah said she was gonna hem pants for her husband, and by mistake she hemmed the right leg twice.
Oh.
He now has a capri leg.
All right, Joanne, what's your tip?
Well, I just said the thinner the fabric, the shorter the stitch. The thicker the fabric, the longer the stitch. So that's just like
what about knits?
a general
what would you
rule.
suggest for knits?
Well,
Sometimes those kind of.
Can we do another show? Because I got lots of knits, lots of knit tips.
I would like a knit tip. I'm just asking, what would you suggest for a stitch length for a knit hem, for example?
3.0, 3.5, maybe even 4.0 if I'm using a twin needle.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gives you more. It gives you more give.
4.0
Yep.
looks really
Yep.
good.
Gives you more give.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And test. It's always best to test. Test your stitch on exactly what you're going to do. Imitate it exactly, because then you know before you sew.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go.
My favorite sewing tip would be to wash and dry your fabric. If you're going to wash and dry your fabric first, to number one, if it shrinks, you want to know then, or if a dye comes out of it, or the fabric ends up being like not the quality that you might have thought. But if you're going to dry clean the garment, I take it to the dry cleaners and have it steam pressed. And you have to remember steam pressed, because they'll dry clean it and steam press, and you'll know if anything happens to the dyes, and it shrinks it up. Ask me how I know.
Because you learned.
You are right.
Yes, with my beautiful winter white wool pants many years ago. All right, any more sewing tips from you guys?
Come on.
An embroidery sample needs to, especially if you're creating your own designs, you need to always do a test.
The test is best.
If you don't, it's that one time that it's not going to turn out right.
Why does my testing always work out great? And then
Are you using the same fabrics and
but that does happen.
and threads? Using the same fabric and the same threads.
Oh, the gremlins.
Yes, the gremlins do suck it up.
And if I'm embroidering on a ready-made, if it's important, I'll go to the fabric store and try to find similar fabric.
Yeah.
Buy a small piece, test it with my stabilizer, so I know I'm good to go when I start to sew.
And especially if it is important enough, you will
Yeah, one
figure
more.
it out.
One more. Change that needle often. Change that needle often.
Oh, that's a big one.
And
Yes, it is.
how much do you suggest? Like, how often should you be changing it?
I change mine about every project.
Okay. Wow.
We're
Depends
talking
on
about,
the fabric,
in case
too.
you guys missed this, we're talking about changing the needle often.
Synthetics needles.
Connie wants,
every project.
you guys, Connie wants to know, do you have any cover stitch tips?
I just started using the cover stitch machine, and I think Angela has some great videos. She shows you how to thread it, which is how I set mine up, and also how to use it, what the uses are, like the different hems, because basically what it is a top stitch. It's not, you know what I mean? So it's finishing knits, for example, rather than like, I thought you used it maybe on the inside as well. No, it's all top stitching, finishing. Do you have a tip for when you start and finish? Like
I do.
Okay.
I use an anchor cloth. So like quilters like to use a piece to piece onto it, piece off of. That's what I do when I cover hem, because then you just slide it in. Yep.
What if it's like a sleeve?
No, you can't do it in a circle. No, you can't do it in a circle. You got the circle tip, girl.
Circle tip. All right. We need a bigger screen. A circle tip. All right, you put your needles in the up position, slide your fabric under, and then put your needles down. Stitch all the way around and go 2 or 3 stitches past where you started. Put your needles in the up position. I always use my finger, but you can pull the thread out. It depends which cover stitch you have. One releases the tension, one does not. Pull that thread a little bit loose, and then you pull the fabric out, cut your top threads, and then give it a little tug, and they all pull to the back side, and you're good to go. That's my tip.
That's a good one.
Yeah, now what's your tip?
Well, my tip is it's so basic, but when you back stitch, you go forward, you go backward, so it's very secure. If you start with a stitch length of 1.2 or 1.4 for just a couple of stitches, and then go to your regular length, and then at the end you do the same thing, and it's not as bulky as if you did a back and
That's
forth.
a great tip.
That's a great tip.
I like that.
We were just talking about that on darts. It works great on darts like that.
Forgive my handkerchief. I have some serious allergies here for something here in. Yes, this isn't.
And I don't even have a cat, guys.
No, I have 3 cats, so that would not be the problem. The other thing that I do regularly, and I have always had a lot of questions about it when I teach a class, is when I like to tear fabric, quilting weight fabric, because then it's on the straight of the grain. But then you always have all those ravellies, and I just hate all those ravellies. So I always clip the corner at the selvage. So then it'll pull across, but it'll only go one time.
Oh, smart.
And then you don't have all the ravellies,
So you just clip the corners before you tear?
I tear first, and I give it a little clip, and then it doesn't keep raveling, so.
All right, so we've got a quick question. Somebody wants to know if you have any tips for buttonholes. Anybody have any buttonhole tips?
I was just saying she's great. Joanne's great for buttonholes.
All right. Well, you almost always, without fail, want to have interfacing or some sort of stabilizer.
What type would you
with your
suggest?
fabric? It depends on the fabric.
Okay.
It really depends on the fabric. Again, test it.
Yep.
And then you can also use the Brother Water Soluble as an extra, and you can either use that on top or on the bottom if you're going to wash it away. If I'm not going to wash it, then I can slip tear away underneath.
Oh, smart.
Yep. And then I do like to use seam sealant on washable fabrics for buttonholes, and I will put seam sealant on
Like in the
before I
center?
cut the buttonhole
Oh, okay.
open, and then I will trim the thread. Now remember, I'm a neat freak, so I will
Love it.
trim the
It's good.
threads, and then I will fray check it or seam seal it again. And whenever I use seam sealant, I'm always very careful that I don't use very much, and I always blot it with a tissue or a paper towel. Always.
Wow.
I never let it just dry by itself. And if you want to get bold, try a corded buttonhole, because corded buttonholes are absolutely awesome. They fill in those stitches, they stabilize the buttonhole, and it is so couture and so easy. Absolutely so
Do you have a blog
easy.
about using the buttonhole foot to do corded buttonholes?
I
yet?
believe I do. I believe there's one. Yeah. If
Joanne
not,
does
we'll
the-
repeat it. Yeah,
Joanne does the
absolutely.
foot.
I'm the foot freak. I love to use my feet. So with your feet.
If it's not on the Brother blog, it will be.
And
It
when
will
you
be.
when you cut the center of the buttonhole, you said a really sharp seam ripper.
Yes, definitely. Or a buttonhole cutter. The buttonhole cutters are great.
Go right through.
Yeah. If you put a pin at the end too, then you won't slit too far. And I always cut from the middle to the end and the middle to the end, so
Okay.
that
And
I'm
another
not.
tip
Oh,
for
smart
that is
even.
if your seam ripper, if the long finger of your seam ripper, the one that goes underneath, does not have one of those little red balls on
Yeah.
it, if it
Okay.
does, you can take it off. But what I do is I cut a tiny little starter hole, and then I go in and back out with that finger, and then it will only
the
slide
loop.
a little bit at a time.
Oh, that's a good
yeah,
idea.
that's another
Very
way to
good.
keep from sliding for the inside.
Oh, I got one more really good one with buttonholes.
Let us hear it.
99.9% of the time when I stitch a buttonhole, I do it with embroidery thread. Because embroidery thread mimics silk thread, and in the old days they made buttonholes by hand from silk thread, and it's wonderful. They look beautiful. They look absolutely gorgeous.
All right, well, we're going to go for just a couple more minutes because I see a ton of comments. I think this should be like a weekly show. But all right, April wants to know, excuse me, guys. April wants to know if you guys have any quick tips for gifts for others. Quick tips for gifts for others.
Anything embroidered, because you can customize
I'm going to give this to you
it.
for a sec.
Even little things that could be like, for example, a little pouch or a wine bag, hat. You can towels.
Yeah,
You can use the monograms.
That's my favorite.
Do a monogram, add their names, initials, like anything that's custom people love. And that's why I like embroidery. You can customize anything. You don't even have to sew it. You can have something that you actually embroider right on that's already pre-made.
I like dish towels because anybody can use a dish towel, and even if they don't like it, they can still use the thing.
And they can embroider it.
But one of my favorite things to do is I have a whole file of recipe embroidery designs, jams and jellies, and then I have a friend who makes homemade jams and jellies. So I have strawberry jam recipe and then a jar of strawberry jam that goes with that, you know,
That's
and
a
it's
great idea.
quick and easy.
Where's
Very
this
quick and easy.
person? They live right next to you. Can we have their address?
Well, I used to always buy it in North Carolina and I'd come back with all these jams and jellies, and then I found Carmen Clifton, who makes wonderful jams and jellies, and so there they are, and it's attractive too.
Yes.
Oh, you know what else is a fun thing? I did a blog on this, and I think this was really fun. I took a towel. We before we had our problems with agriculture in Florida, and we had like 80 orange trees, and so I would take a dish towel. And I embroidered on it tangerines, and it says tangerines. I'd fold it over in a certain way, and I would sew it up with wash away thread, and then tie it up. Put a couple safety pins in it, and tie it, and it was a bag.
Oh, cute.
And then it's a whole bag full of fruit. And then you dip it in water, and now you've got a dish towel.
Yeah.
There's a blog post.
That's a good idea.
That's on Stitching Social.
It is?
Uh-huh.
That's another one on I think we're going to be going to the Brother blog and finding a lot of things. So you guys are rolling in with such good questions. I can't quite hang up yet. Somebody wants to know if you have any tips for shortening bathing suit straps. Anybody?
Can't you just cut and sew over?
Just cut and staple it. Are you kidding? I'm so kidding.
I mean, is it up here? Or is it
what kind?
Yeah, what are we talking
What about
about?
adding the technique that you did on It's So Easy, where you did the adjustable straps for the camisole?
You're right. The adjustable straps.
With the little
That's on my YouTube
Yeah.
right now. Now, Anna, we missed you. What tip do you have for us? You got one?
Well, I think the only tip that I can think of for applique is you always have to prepare your fabric ahead of time, and because you want it nice and flat. So do a spray starch or something like that. And even if it gets wrinkled because you don't get to it right away, when you go to embroider, make sure the fabric is flat. You'll get the best results that way.
That's great.
Yeah, pressing is very important for embroidery and for just sewing.
Pressing's that's like the main.
Pressing's
Press
after sewing.
Pressing's almost more important than sewing.
Well, you do a lot more prep. Like I remember when I was teaching sewing to the young kids, they used to be like, "Well, there's not a lot of sewing that's involved," because they didn't realize, well, you have to cut the pattern out, lay out the pattern, prep the fabric, pin it, cut it, and then all you're doing is sewing, like for them it was so small, like a straight little pouch, so they're just sewing a straight line, and they always would say, like, there's not that much sewing, and I was like, well, sewing, guys, is actually the whole process of cutting, pressing, sewing, redoing it all. So it is a lot.
Your projects will be much more impressive if you press as you sew.
Yes. And also mark your pattern markings. Yes. Don't you hate when you forget that and you're like, where was that notch?
I use little black brass pins.
Oh, that's smart.
Of everything. And when we did
Yeah.
We pass this over here.
The front of each dress, the front of each sleeve, using those little brass safety pins to mark the fronts. I would often use a heat erasable marker, but then I press it and then my mark is gone. But with the safety pins, they're very handy.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, you're on here. First off, Kelly said if he knew that we were coming, he would have been here to cook for us, which would have been awesome. So. When I was visiting his store one time, they made, what was it, Kelly? All I know, it was hot, and I was stripping in the store. I mean, not literally, but I mean, I had a sweater on and everything. It was jambalaya. And I almost ate the baby out of the cake. The king cake thing. Yeah. We still laugh about that. But Kelly says that he finds out whoever's visiting him their favorite colors and gets them a couple towels for them. Now that's cool. I'll never have guests if I do that, Kelly. And a couple of you asked if we're live. Part 1 was before. This is part 2. So I hope you guys had fun here. We've had a great time. And look who's in the house. Hi, Wynn. The CEO. Well, they've named you Trophy Husband now, so.
Not us.
So our lunch has arrived. We're going back to our meetings. We did a drawing. I just drew 2 names. So the winner of season 17. Let's see, the number 2 on there is, oh, I know this woman. Judy Romano, congratulations. Yay. She's on here every week, and she's a part of the Fashion Sewing Club. You're awesome. And then the winner of the Linda Tunic pattern, you can have it in Mrs. or Plus, or if you need both, holler. And this winner is, I'm reading it, Angela Wolf. No, that's the Angela pattern. Susan Klein. Congratulations, Susan. Susan Klein. I almost thought it was going to be Susan Fisher, and I was going to laugh since she was here helping me. She officially got the first pattern. So the patterns, the first batch went out. The second batch is behind us. I don't know if you can see that table back here. We've been having like a stuffing party. And I also apologize because many of you said I didn't send out a newsletter, which no, I didn't. I was too busy stuffing patterns. So I extended the capital letter LINDA 20 for another week so I can send out a newsletter if for those of you that missed the sale. So give these ladies a huge round of applause. The huge emojis. We had so much fun hanging out with you. I'll pop back in and check your questions. I'm sorry about the weird glitch, but I'm so glad we came back and all of you came back with us. So that's awesome. So we're going to give you guys a big round of applause for watching us. Thank you for visiting Brothers Stitching Social, and we look forward to seeing you on It's So Easy and all over the social. So I'll leave all these people's all my people's, all their contact info underneath a little bit later today so you can find them. So
Happy sewing.
Bye, guys. Happy sewing. Well, are we there? What in the world happened?
Too many creative sparks flying. We should have threw it in the system.
Clearly the explanation.
Come on in here, Andy.
A little bit out. There we go.
Here, share my
So we're just popping in to say, here you are. What the heck happened?
Sorry.
We wanted to say hi. We are so sorry, but I hope you could listen to our conversation because we were kind of laughing and then we realized we were still live, but just in a different whatever. Oh, you all are coming back. Thank you. Because, you know,
We missed
How
you.
cool is that waiting on us?
doesn't the internet drive you crazy? In fact, I know it's not the internet because we just did a speed test and it's faster than it's been. So maybe it's too fast for us.
Yeah.
How's the volume? Good, good.